Hello, and welcome to the Casino Tears podcast. I'm one of your hosts, 10 Ton is number one, and joining me as my co-host is the one and only Ed Robinson from Roll to Win Craps. If you want more info on our show, please visit our page at casinotears.com. On this week's show, we discuss dice coach wisdom, timing, turning bets off, the odds bet. We also touch on metaphysical energy, visualization, the echo effect, comfort levels, lost numbers, and when to go for the jugular.
So my mic's still sounding okay there, 10 Ton?
Sounding smooth and sexy, Ed.
I am smooth.
Yeah.
I've been sexy for years, but I ain't been smooth all that long.
No, that mic sounds good. Beau, I'm so happy to have you here on the, good audio, some headphones.
It's all good. Thank you.
Ed and I were talking earlier today. You turn your bets off and wait way more than I think Ed does.
Or way more than the average person, that's for sure.
I will sometimes wait a roll, but that's it. Just one.
You're too antsy.
I mean, maybe.
10 Ton, when it bites you in the ass enough, then you'll pay attention.
Listen, I am paying attention. At least my eyes are open and my ears are open.
There you go.
It's just now it's making sure it goes into reality. But Ed, you don't do that, do you? Because Beau, you wait 2 rolls after aces or 12. For sure, 1 roll after ace deuce. Not a yo, do you?
Yeah, a yo, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So you turn your bets off anytime you see a horn?
What I like to do is this.
What's your rule?
And why?
Okay, if you see a horn, turn my bets off, and I'll make a horn high yo ace deuce bet and a field bet. So if the horn repeats, you get the field and the horn. The horn doesn't hit. A lot of times you get the 4, 9, or 10 will hit, and that's your hedge. But of course, if 5, 6, or 8 throws, then you're done, right? But a lot of times, especially with midnight or aces, the 7 a lot of times will show up within a couple rolls after they appear, especially if you haven't seen them for a long time. If they're like lost.
The old lost number theory.
Yeah. It gets to be a long lost theory.
Yeah.
Why? Like, why does that happen?
Is it an anomaly? Who knows? I don't know. Math can't prove what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what drives the Michael Shacklefords and Stanford Wong's crazy when I say this stuff.
Michael Shackelford and Stanford Wong, they know math, but they don't know how to play craps.
Well, the problem is, okay, their math is fine. But the problem with their math is they don't, in their equations, they don't put in there the metaphysical part of the game, which is worth more percentage-wise than the math is in my estimation.
I agree 100%.
Otherwise, why would a random shooter...
I would have to look at a dictionary to define metaphysical, but I still agree with you 100%.
I'll give you I'll check this out. I was at Golden Nugget this last weekend, right? Not this weekend, the weekend before. 2 people at the table, and those tables are so bouncy in there now, I don't even recommend going in there. I couldn't do diddly. I mean, absolutely nothing. So I look around.
During the day or at night?
This is in the late afternoon. It's on a Saturday afternoon. Okay, every table was open. So I said, just give me the die. I was the only one left at the table. I said, just give me, I'm just going to randomly throw the dice, just get a rhythm roll going. And I just pick them up and just chuck them. Didn't even do a set, just threw them. I caught a 25-hand roll, just chucking the dice down. I couldn't do shit setting, but I did. I banged them out really nice when I was just doing a rhythm roll. And I go, holy crap. He says, and the dealers are going, see, you're not thinking now. I'm definitely not thinking now. I'm just amazed. It's just amazing. Just amazing. So what do you say? So there you go. There is no control, especially these bouncy tables. They're ridiculous.
I hate the really, really bouncy ones. I try not to play them. You
can use the all 7 set. You can use the all 7 set for the point cycle set. Double pitch off axis, you're cool. Just don't do a precision throw and have them hit a primary face, you're done. Right.
So you need to make sure that they're off axis or something.
That's right. Or not hitting primaries.
So you're making your throw imperfect, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. On a bouncy table.
The more that I am learning and getting into this, it's so difficult to play at a lot of MGM properties.
Yeah, especially like the Mirage. At least That's going to be the Hard Rock now. But anyway, the Mirage is horrible.
Oh, see, I've never played there.
I played there 3 times. I've been here 22 years. I played there 3 times and lost all 3 times.
That's perfect.
So if I go to a place and lose, I just don't go back.
I mean, that's a perfect record.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Brian P is staying. He's staying at the Mirage.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, he is.
Well, that would be a cool place to stay because it's fixing to be torn down. I mean, it's like
exactly. Oh, that's right. He is staying there because I remember I talked to him about that. Yeah.
But don't play there.
Yeah, but don't play there.
Yeah, stay there, but don't play there.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, though, Beau. I would have met you out. You always let me know, please. I'll go out
Well,
there.
it was a spur of the moment.
Drive out there, say hello.
It was a spur of the moment. Sometimes it's spur of the moment.
He wanted to win money, 10 ton. He didn't want to drag your ass out.
No, now 10 ton. I've shot with him a couple of times. He does good. He's fine. His strategy's a little different. I mean, he'll have if I'm down. Okay, if we're at a game and we're both down, he'll be down 1,000. We'll all be down 100. Okay.
I just add a 0, right?
Okay. So, but if I'm up 2,000, he'll probably be up 15,000. So that's to say, it doesn't matter. All we're doing is moving decimal points around.
That is true.
Well, I'm a low roller. I play very blue collar myself, and maybe I shouldn't, but I always do. I mean, I've always played super low.
That's your comfort level.
No, I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind buying in with bigger amounts. I don't even mind getting up to bigger amounts, but I get a big thrill, Beau, out of taking 300 and turning it into 500 or 1,200. I mean, yeah, I could, if I had the same buy-in and everything, I'd take 3,000, turn it into 5,000, turn it into 12,000.
It's the same thing.
But I get a bigger, I don't know. It just makes me feel good. Okay, I bought in for 300 and I just kicked their ass and came out with 500.
That's value, man. That is like return on investment.
Because where I play all the time in Biloxi, we don't even have the ATS. So you have to earn every freaking dollar you take off that table.
What do they have there as far as their special?
No bonus bet. No, none.
No.
They got hot bets. That's it.
That's it. Wow.
Yep.
What are their odds? Double odds or 10 times odds?
10.
Okay, at least they got 10 times odds.
Yeah, everything in Mississippi down there is 10 times odds. There's one casino that's got 20 times odds.
Don't you think that's overrated, though?
I do, because most people don't play it.
Well, the problem is, the thing is, it's great if you hit it, but if you don't hit it, it's not worth a damn.
I mean, I very rarely go to 10 times. I'll go 4, 5, 6 times odds maybe, but there was one time, in fact, it was, I don't know, one of my last trips to Biloxi, I kept hitting 6s and 8s over and over, setting the 6, hit the 6, set the 8, hit the 8. And finally, I just I can't, unless I keep my box bets up.
You're not making any money.
I'm not making any money. So I just went to 10 times odds on all the points.
There you go.
And then I started making money. And I hit a bunch of points back to back to back to back to back. It was 6, 8, 6, 8, 6. I mean, it was just over and over and over. And I just slide them back and forth and just keep going. It was, I mean, that's the beauty of the 10 times or higher.
Sure.
But you've got to be in that groove where it's just happening. Otherwise,
it doesn't happen every time.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. How often do you end up really utilizing that is supposedly the best bet, right? Technically speaking, isn't that the best odds in the casino right there? That bet, that odds bet. Well, how often are you at max odds here in Vegas?
I start with double odds.
Okay.
I start with double odds. And then when I get ahead of the game, I'll go to max odds. If the points are hitting, if they're not, if the box numbers are repeating, the heck with the pass line.
So what I do a lot, Beau, it don't matter what the point is, but let's just say I put $400 odds. $100 odds down, 100 on a quarter or 100 on a $15 bet. If I haven't hit that point in 3 tosses, I reduce my odds bet in half virtually every time.
Every 3 times you reduce it a half.
Well, I'll go from 100 down to 50, or I'll go from 50 on a 4 or 10 down to a quarter. I mean, I'm going to leave odds out there, but if I hadn't hit it in about 3 tosses, I mentally just reach down and grab half of it and bring it back to the rack.
Why, Ed? Is it because you're like, okay, well, are the odds now in your head decreasing that you're not going to hit it?
No, I usually hit it the next toss.
Of course.
Maybe that's the trigger. Hey, let me lower this. It'll hit.
But in my mind, okay, I mean, you start looking at average hands and you start looking at what you're throwing, what else is hitting, and you're not all of a sudden, you're not hitting the 5, you're hitting 8s and 9s. All right, so I didn't, I feel like if my die set's on and my toss is on, I'm going to hit that point pretty quick, and so I don't give it more than about 3 tosses, and then I pull it down basically in half.
Well, there's 3 ways to make it. If you can't get it in one of the 3 tosses, that's a good move.
Like I said, inevitably, if the hand continues, then I hit it real quick, and I don't even sweat that I regressed it because that was my plan.
Sure.
When I've hit like for nice payouts or nice wins, it's always been times when I've been playing max odds and hitting them. Man, that really helps the bankroll. My point though, Beau and Ed, is that when you go max odds, for me, it's an allocation of funds issue. And unless I'm way up, it's like, shit, I have a $100 pass line bet and 8's point. Do I want to put 500 out there for odds? That 500 could be used 100 on the 4 and 10. I mean, I could use that on all the other numbers. So for me, it's an allocation of funds issue, especially until I'm, at least up a lot. It's a little easier when let's say my pass line is 30 versus when my pass line's 100. And then all of a sudden I'm looking at like 500 on a 8's point versus 150 for max odds.
Well, say you have a $100 pass line bet.
Yeah.
Look at it as a $30 bet and put max odds on 30. Well, that way you don't have to worry about sweating putting $500 down for the odds. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. When your points are hitting, those sessions are really,
yeah.
really good.
If you're banging out points, then take full odds. Absolutely. But it's easy to notice that after you've done it.
Yeah. It's the hindsight.
I made 7 passes here, dude. Look at this. And I had double odds in every one of those. Look at that shit. I should have had full odds. Well, you're absolutely right. 10 ton. If you did that early on, but how many times do you do that?
Yeah, I know. That's a whole timing issue.
It's all timing. Exactly. Everything's timing. Right place at the right time.
Well, the Cromwell, we were talking about odds. The Cromwell for years was known as 100 times odd place.
Right.
And of course that changed when the merger took place with Caesars and that other bunch, bean counters and all that bullshit. But that's what they advertised. 100 times odds, 100 times odds. Nobody played 100 times odds except the ultra high rollers.
Sure.
Right. But it was nice knowing that you could go in there and put as many odds on that $10 or $15 bet. Pre-COVID, you could do a $10 bet or whatever.
Sure.
After COVID, 15 or 25. But you could go in there on a $10 bet and put $1,000 down if you wanted to.
Absolutely. The downtown at the Main Street Station, they used to have 100 times odds. Yeah, and they can go to 20, I believe now.
Do you guys think a lot of people take advantage of that? Like, is it worth taking, or is it just marketing?
No.
Because Heavy sent me a text. Tell your guy at Caesars that he should bring back the 100 times odds, blah, 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 And
hey, Heavy doesn't even do 100 times odds. Are you kidding me?
Nah. Nobody does 100 times odds. I mean, they got to be. I mean, the guys that are doing 100 times odds are doing super high come bets. They're, $250 come bets, $2,500 odds, that kind of thing. They're either hitting lightning all over the place or they're going down the tank in a hurry.
So, Ed, will you ever turn your bets off or wait before you bet like Beau does?
I'm trying.
Even for after your first point, right? Even when point is established, you wait one.
I never turn the bets off on myself unless there's a major distraction. And sometimes I still don't do it, and I should, always should. I'm trying to make myself learn to go ahead and do this every time there's a major distraction. I mean, I have cussed guys out. I've cussed the wrong guys out for dropping money on the table. I did. I mean, I wore out some damn Germans bad. I mean, and it wasn't even their money. I thought they were totally innocent. I apologize to them if Sprechen Sie Deutsch, if you're out there. I mean, it was the don't better, and I was freaking killing his ass, and he threw $2,000 down there in the middle of the table in the middle of my roll, and I thought it was these 2 German dudes.
Oh, you yelled at them?
And I mean, I didn't yell at them, dude. I didn't yell at them. I freaking cussed them down to the ground and then made them pull money out of their pockets and place a bet. I was what?
You're from Alabama, right? What happened to the old Southern hospitality?
It's gone.
It doesn't exist at a craps table.
I guess you're right.
There's no hospital. I was really sad. And then they walked off and I was like, oh shit, that wasn't even their money. That was that dumbass's money. And then I was like, it turned me off. But, I mean, I had my hostess, my former, I'm going to rephrase it. My former host there. She came over there one morning last year at my brown water bash, and she run her fingers down my back right in the middle of my freaking toss.
Nice. Turn your bets off.
Apparently she'd been sitting there for a while wanting to ask me a question, but I was on a long roll, and she decided she'd interrupt me. And so I answered her question, and then I turned around and immediately threw a freaking 7.
Of course. That's when you turn your bets off.
And I didn't, but I should have.
Did you yell at her too?
Nah,
that's a conflict
10.
of interest.
No. She was a 10 plus, dude.
Oh, okay.
She's one of them shadow girls.
Oh, there you go. Oh, wow.
So listen, Beau, so why is that? Is that because I know a guy that if a waitress comes by and asks for a drink, all of a sudden the role
Shooter interrupted.
Shooter, coitus interruptus.
Right brain, left brain.
I agree with that. I mean,
right brain, left brain.
If the person next to me is shooting and it's a friend of mine and they come up, I kind of like put my hands out and go, come here. He'll take a water, put it right here. Here's a buck. I mean, here's your tip. Me and him want a water, but just bring it here, leave him alone. I mean, I try to run interference for the person next to me if at all possible. But you can write this down, 10 ton.
Believe me, it's being recorded.
Yeah.
The most powerful tool on a craps table is the off button. It is the most powerful tool. I just don't freaking use it enough. I admit that. I'm trying to get better at using it. Here's the other problem I run into. The guy right next to you is a good friend of yours, and they're having a long roll, and then they roll an ace deuce, and they roll a 12, and you're sitting there going, I want to turn my bets off, but I don't want to interrupt the shooter. And then they roll an 11, and you go, God, I got to turn my bets off. I need to really turn my bets off, but you don't want to just say it right in front of them. So if you can't make if you can't get the dealer's attention in doing the little throat slash thing, turn me off, next roll's a 7. I mean, it just happens. Right, Beau?
Exactly. Well, why didn't you bet the horn bet when you saw those things coming?
Because I'm trying to get, maybe I don't even, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but I mean, you still got all this other money working out there.
I know. That's why you call them off and go to horn in the field.
The last thing I want to hear when I'm shooting, I don't care if you turn your bets off, but don't yell it in my ear if I'm shooting, But you know what? When you're the shooter, you shouldn't hear that stuff. I know.
You shouldn't hear a thing. Whether there's a disturbance going on, an argument going down, whatever is going down. If somebody's making a lot of money at the end of the table or losing a lot of money, you should pay no attention. Just focus on your toss, and doesn't matter what anybody's saying.
That's why I like playing at the horseshoe. The horseshoe in Tunica. If any of that's just going on, I can look at a TV. They got TV monitors everywhere. A lot of sports gambling going on. I can just sit there and just stare at the TV.
But don't do the mistake I did. One time I was looking at the TV. I said the score. Guess what the score was? 7-7 or something like that. Oh, look at the score, 7-7. And oh shit, guess what? Then you're the schmuck at the table.
Beau, when you're shooting, well, okay, so you guys both agree then that is a thing.
It is a thing. Waitresses
coming by, because there's a lot of people that would just be like, we're crazy.
That's fine.
Why? Because the whole energy, Beau, was interrupted.
Yeah, it's all the whole metaphysical thing.
Yeah. Here's the hard part. When do you turn your bets back on, or do you?
I do, depending on the roll. Most of the time, I don't have to turn them back on. I'm taking it down because the 7 just rolled. But if you start throwing a couple box numbers, then I turn it back on.
My timing is awful.
Beau, you've got great timing. Ed, when I was over at Beau's and we were going through some real life rolls, and Beau, he already knew. He's like, you were laying numbers against me, right?
Yeah.
You were like, yeah, I'm going to lay the 5. He just knew. I don't know how you did, and you would have won. I would have lost money on multiple rolls, and you would have won by betting against me.
But okay, that was here, my dice bet, right?
Sure.
But in the casino, I cannot take my students to the casino and bet against them because they paid you for a class. You got to give them support. You cannot bet against your student in the casino.
I don't know. I thought that was like real life. To me, that was like a good experience.
It is, but I'm not going to, in practice here at my place, that's one thing, but I will never bet against the student that's just taking a class. That would be,
Right.
that is not cool. You know,
I thought it was funny. So
the thing, what I would do is just not bet the hand instead of doing a laying against them. I would never lay against the student.
All right. So let me ask you another question. You're with your student, and if I'm not mistaken, you like to see 2 rolls before you place a bet.
Well, it depends. Okay, I need more information than that.
Well, I don't know if I got any more information.
Okay, let's say, okay, let's give me a scenario. Is the
10
table
ton-
empty?
10
Is the
ton-
table empty or is it full? Or is it half full or what? Let's do this.
Let's just say
Let's do
it's you and 10 ton.
Okay, I'm at stick right. He's at stick left. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And the dice are coming out to him. Are you on the pass line?
No.
Okay. He throws a 9. Okay. Then the dice come back to him. Have you bet yet?
No.
damn, right. Interesting.
All right. So then the next roll is a 10.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
Well, I haven't got enough information to do anything.
Wow, I love it. Love it.
You're going to sit there with your chips in your rack,
Not do a thing.
right?
Okay, I want to stop you for 1 second.
Yeah.
Remember, 50% of all shooters 7 out and 4 rolls or less. So go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So now we're coming up to his third roll, and he just makes his point.
Okay.
And you hadn't made a dime. You hadn't lost a dime.
I haven't made a bet. Haven't made a bet.
You haven't made a bet. All right. So now he just hit his point on the third roll. Fourth roll, he sets the 10, which is his other number,
Right.
as the point. What are you doing?
Wait 1 roll.
Ooh, you're going to wait one more roll.
Yeah. What's the next roll now?
3.
Okay. I'm going to wait another roll.
This is awesome. This is
Okay,
great.
Come on. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me another
All
number.
right. All right. Next roll is 4. Sister number to the 10.
I'm going to bet the 4, 10, and the 9.
So all of a sudden, you're 5 rolls in, or I think that's 5, maybe
Yep.
6, but whatever that is, 5 rolls in. Now you've gone from no bets to 3 bets. Tell me why.
There you go. Because I see repeating numbers and the sister number. There's 2 repeating numbers, the 10 repeated, the 9 repeated, and there's 1 4, which is a sister to the 10. So I'm thinking that he's going to catch a hand. Now, this will blow your mind. He throws midnight next roll. I'm off.
You turn them off. Midnight turns you off.
There you go.
Aces would turn you off.
Turn me off. 2 rolls.
Damn. That is like
It takes patience.
shit. Ed, I almost hit the ATS right now. I think I just need the 6 and 8.
There you go.
And the
You need the 6 and 8.
yo.
Yes.
5 ways to drink each one.
He didn't bet it. He didn't bet it. And he hadn't made any money yet, but he ain't lost any either.
Right.
That's the key. Money management. So he's got a money management system built into the way he bets. Most people do not.
You got to have a reason to make a bet. You're a financial advisor, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have a dartboard where you throw darts and pick a stock or pick an investment? A guy, your client should. I see Beau's coming into.
Don't tell my secrets.
Look at
Don't tell my secrets.
Beau's got an appointment with me tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Well, let's put the dartboard up there. We'll put these things. We'll throw 4 darts. This is the investment Beau's going to make. Okay.
Yeah, spin the
So
wheel.
that would be the same thing. See what I'm saying? So you got to have some info. You got to have better information before you can make an investment. I look at it as an investment instead of a bet. I mean, I know the stock market now, it's all, oh, we bet this, we bet that. It's just like playing craps, right? But you're investing money for a return. So it's an investment. Do you agree?
I cannot emphasize enough how much I agree with that statement, that it is a business investment into the table at any particular time.
Exactly. That's your working capital. If you don't have working capital and you're out of money, you're bankrupt, you're done. Your business is, you're gone.
Yep.
And the
I agree.
ATM machine is not your bankroll.
I mean, I used to look at it. I used to always go up there and go, this is my investment. I used to say that out loud. This is my investment into this game right now. I always said that I'm investing money into this business or this game right now, whether it's $44 or $96, whatever
You're looking for return on your investment.
Exactly.
Okay, look at
So-
it this way. Okay, on a CD now, you can get what, around 5% on a CD, somewhere around there.
Yep.
A regular savings account is less than 0.5%. Well, look what you can do on a crap table. Look at your return on investment there. In an hour.
Exactly.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
In an hour. See, that's why I love it.
That's why only a
love it.
few of my clients know I play craps.
Yeah, you can't pass that around because otherwise they
I
get
mean,
a little nervous.
only a select few know, but not many.
Okay, very good.
But you are a very cautious investor into the craps table then, Beau.
Who, me? Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. I don't want to go there and lose my shorts. So look, 10-10. I've learned the hard way. Okay, this shit doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
You know, in the old days, before I even knew there was anything about having an advantage, I went up and down like a roller coaster. Sign another marker. It's good. Bring me another drink and sign another marker. I'll get it back. You don't want to play that way. They love you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they love you.
They love you.
The biggest thing that I'm trying to do, which is now trust my, sort of relates to what you said, Ed, shutting things down when either there's that gut feeling, that intuition, whatever it is, that person that shows up, that distraction, something else that happened, an argument. Like, Ed, if you started bitching at someone and we were at the same table, I would have shut my bets off for sure.
Sure.
Even if you were the shooter, I would have been like, fuck, man, this is bad. Like, this is bad vibes.
You better keep your off button handy when you're playing with me.
I know, I will.
I'm gonna do a lot of bitching.
That's, I think, my biggest area that I've improved dramatically recently, which is listening to that inner voice. And it's saved my ass multiple times the last few times that I've gone out, because now I'm doing it. Now once I think it, I'm not waiting to the next roll. I'm acting on it now, which I feel like is, well, I don't know, can't explain it. It's one of those things, but Beau, you know.
Hey, 10-10, sometimes some of the dealers that know me, I'll go to the table, I'll buy, and I know what students, right? And they go, oh, here's Beau. We don't have enough off buttons for this guy.
That's funny.
But you only need one off. You can have 6 bets out there, and you only get to put one off button. And it's usually supposed to be closest to the box man if they have a box man. And all the bets in that position is off. You don't have an off button on every bet.
And let's say this is a winning session. Are you ever just going to fucking floor it and just keep it going?
Okay, look at you're looking for the hot roll hand, right?
Yeah.
So say you had 2 passes, relatively easy in 14 or 15 rolls. Okay, you're in the middle of an anticipated hot roll hand right there. So now if you look back, say you've been at the table for 30 minutes, and if you remember the 3s and the 11s and there was no 7s following, and midnights and aces, there's no 7s following, then you're going to open the floodgates and you're going to go for it. You're not going to turn your bets off.
Okay, so you will then, you will.
Oh, absolutely, because you're ahead of the game now. Okay, you got no way to lose in this hand, right? So now you go for the jugular. Collect, press, boom, 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 boom.
And because of that, then another midnight rolls. You're just like, that's cool. Let it keep going.
It's no problem. It hasn't been showing up. It's not going to show up. Let it go.
Okay.
And it works better. That strategy works better on total random person. A good dice setter can get through that stuff.
I remember the first time I played with heavy. We were at the Flamingo, and they weren't as bouncy then as they are now, or the last time I was there. And he was at like stick left 1, and I was way down in the right hook.
Those are 14-foot tables, aren't they?
They're long. I don't remember if they're 14 or not, but
I think they're 14s.
I was a practiced shooter way before the first time I ever played with it. I mean, I practiced all the time, 2 hours a night, every night. And I was using a particular set. I think it was 5-3-6-3. And I would hit occasional horn numbers. But I ended up hitting the ATS on that toss. And when we were all done, Heavy came up to me. It's like, I hope you didn't mind I turned my bets off so much during the toss. And I was like, I didn't know you did. I was still betting.
Well, see, there you go. You shouldn't know that he did.
I was still focused enough on what I was doing, and I knew my toss. And I knew I was getting what I normally got with that particular set that I was tossing. And I was expecting some 3s and some 11s to show with that particular set, especially with...
They're primary faces on that set.
They are primary faces. So I wasn't concerned about it, but, he was always turning off and on and reducing and doing all these fancy moves, and I made more money.
But he didn't know what set you were using.
No, he didn't. He didn't even know me. I mean, that was the first time we had ever played on a table
I see.
together. It was even pre-class stuff. So, I was like, I don't care if you turned your bets off. It doesn't bother me a bit. Didn't even know you did.
Yeah.
I don't like it when people shout it, turn me off, turn me off. He thrown a 3, turn me off. I don't like that.
Well, you don't need to say that. You don't need to repeat what he said. Yeah, exactly. Well, My advice to you is don't even think of it. Don't even listen to that crap. Otherwise, you do get it in your head.
Yeah.
You know what the echo effect is, don't you?
No, I want to know. Give it to me.
Okay, so you got 5 craps tables in the pit, right? You're shooting the dice. You're dialed in. All of a sudden you hear 7 out, line away. Boom, you throw the dice. 7 out, line away. There, you just threw another 7. It came from across the casino. There you go. It's called the echo effect.
Nice. Ed, I love it. We have a new thing to add to the glossary.
So Ed, you're 5'3", 6'3". That's a 3V looking at you.
Yeah.
And with primaries of 6/8s and 3s and 11s.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And I bet a lot of field back then. I bet a lot of field with it.
If they were working, hey.
I don't throw that set anymore much, but I mean, that's what I was throwing back then.
Well, you outgrew it. You probably outgrew it.
Yeah, I outgrew it. My favorite 3V right now is 3-1, 3-5, which puts my 7s in the same place as a 2-1, 2-3. I can throw a 6-2, 6-3. Those are the 3 sets I need. If I'm going to hit numbers, if I need something different, I'll switch between those 3 numbers. Those 3 sets. 7s are in the same spot.
They don't change.
Now I have here recently been experimenting. It's an experiment with an upside down cross 6, 1, 3, 1, 2, which is still in the same family. The 7s are in the same spot, but I am trying to hit a few more hard ways. If hard ways start popping, then I can take advantage of hard ways with that set, but it's still an experiment.
Hey, you got to start somewhere, right?
I'm logging it in the computer and all that kind of stuff and just trying to see, because sometimes you've got an advantage. I mean, there's no real advantage to hard way bets. Very few people ever really have them. Mine come in clumps or clusters. And so when one hits, it's more likely that I'm going to hit a few more. And so I feel more confident in going ahead and placing some hard way bets. I mean, earlier last year, I was so good at it that when one would start hitting, man, I would go quarters on all the hard ways and press quarters every time I hit one. I was hitting $200 hard 10s and
nice,
$300 hard 8s and stuff. I mean, they just kept piling up because I would just
you
always
need to parlay those in the middle there somewhere.
I didn't ever parlay. I'm not that brave. I never parlayed, but I would always press everything a quarter. Just tell the stick, press them all a quarter. Just press them all a quarter. One of them might have 1 quarter on it. One of them might have 5 quarters on it.
Sure.
But all of a sudden you hit one of those suckers, boom. And I mean, I turned 500 into $8,000 on New Year's Day.
Happy New Year's.
Yeah. And it was, and then that was one of the best. I mean, I was on a table virtually. It was me and one other guy at Stick Right One, and he was a random guy. I figured out that I was hitting I had these facial combinations that were continuing to hit, and I just kept pressing those hard ways. So I was hitting hard ways or 5s and 6s, and some of the 6s were hard. I remember that it was so fun. It was so much fun because I had the 6 at $420. I had the 5 at $300. And I had just made my point. Whatever the point was, I don't remember. And so I hopped the 5s for $25 each. And I threw a 3-2.
Nice.
And so I made the point as 3-2. And they said, you want to bring that down? I said, no, I want you to leave that right there. And then I placed $100 odds on the pass line, and I still had the hop on the 5s working. I didn't bring the hops down. But I bullfrogged that sucker.
Beautiful.
With, you just all of a sudden it's just raining money into your rack when that kind of thing happens, because you're in that groove and you're hitting certain numbers with a certain set.
Sure.
And people have got to learn how to pounce on that thing, and they're afraid to. And I get it. I mean, it's hard to make that decision, but if you can ever get enough confidence in your ability as a dice influencer to pounce on what's happening at the table when you're tossing the dice, that's when you can make some serious money. Because I turned 500 into 8,000 and went and had a New Year's brunch.
There you go. You got that comp too.
Oh yeah, that was all free. Yeah.
Exactly.
I would have ordered dessert. That would have been a great meal. Beau, do you have a system when you said it? Did you parlay that? Do you often bet the hard ways? And when you do,
if I don't normally bet them unless I see them rolling.
Okay.
So when I see them rolling, I would say if I put like say $10 on, say a hard 6, I always parlay it the first time.
Okay.
Take it, boom. Then it hits. Okay. Now you got a nice return. Okay. then I'll go to, then I'd go up maybe after I parlay it, I'll collect the next one. And then I wouldn't parlay it, but I would go up substantially, maybe, half of what the payout would be, because you're way up at that point. Well, if you're putting quarters down there, collect the first one, get everything paid for, right?
Yeah, my goal is to get them up to 100 quick as I can.
Oh, yeah, it's nice when it hits. It's nice, right?
I wouldn't necessarily parlay that if it hit at 100. I'd be like, oh man, I need to take down this like 700 or 800.
You don't have to. Well, you want to take some money off the table.
I
put some
know,
money in your pocket. You don't want to be greedy either.
Yeah.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff, right?
They come in bunches. They for sure do.
And sometimes when you win those big wins, you hit those numbers, they come so fast that you don't even know what hit you. And all of a sudden you look at your rack and say, holy crap, look at this.
Beau, you would like this story. I think I told you this, Ed. There was one night when I ended up at this corner table at Aria that I love. And I love the crew. I love the box guy that's there. His name's Harry. This lady who had no money was at the table. I don't know what she was doing at that table. Quarter table. And she's like less than $200, Ed. All she kept yelling was hard six. The whole time, like if it was a six, hard six, right? And then finally, I'm like, man, listen, she keeps saying hard six. All she's saying is hard six. I start betting the hard six. Boom, it hits again. I left with fucking, I don't know, close to 8,000. I made so much on the hard six. My hard six was up to like $250, Ed. I think there was like 5 hard sixes thrown.
Wow.
Right after she kept saying it. She didn't make any money. It's funny.
She wasn't betting it?
No. I mean, no, she had bet like just a regular six, but she was yelling hard six. She had no money, but she just kept saying it, chirping hard six. And then it just kept hitting.
And you were the shooter?
Back to back. No, I was just
a random shooter. Was it a random shooter?
Random shooter.
So that's crazy. See, that's awesome.
I pay attention during sessions to numbers that people keep saying over and over and over again, or someone you just keep hearing something. And I think that's a product of,
there's a metaphysical energy.
It's a product of like people that are, I'd say, a little more intermediate and above, that are like not necessarily so focused on betting and everything else, that they can pay attention to this other data that's coming in and able to process that and then implement whatever they're hearing or seeing.
I saw a guy one time when I was tossing at Gold Strike in Tunica, and he was a young guy, and he would barely bet, and all of a sudden he would throw out $100 yo, just out of the blue, $100 yo, and that sucker would hit. And you would hear him screaming all the way down to the men's room and back. I mean, he would just go, ah, and he would just be running around screaming, come back, get paid. And he'd throw you a quarter for hitting it. He just made $1,500. He'd throw you a quarter. Yeah. And then he'd wait 4 or 5 tosses. And then all of a sudden he'd go, $100 yo. And the damn thing would show up. I mean, it was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. But I'm sure he's broke now.
I'm sure.
But do you believe that when you have like little, not necessarily, they're not like little visions, but these things just pop in your head like aces or hard 10 or something, and then you place that bet?
If you see it, bet it.
You see it in your head?
Yeah. Why not? If it's that clear, and if it's actually happening, you'd be silly not to bet it. Doesn't matter how it got there, right? It's a number on the dice, right? And it happened. If you could visualize it before, that's beautiful. If you can visualize it before it even happens, and then you make the bet and it does happen, look at you. You're the guru.
Okay, so 2 elite, I think, dice influencers right here. How I say that?
I wasn't so elite last weekend, but okay, go ahead.
Well, you guys are. Speaking of visualization, when you're throwing the dice, and this goes for you too, Ed, because when I'm throwing, I'm visualizing. During that whole process of when I'm setting to throwing, Beau, now I'm literally trying to track one of the dice, the left die. I'm trying to track that, but I'm also like really visualizing those puppies like moving beautifully in the air when I throw. Do you guys do that?
I mean, actually looking at your dice?
Yeah, like I'm like, no, you don't.
No, I visualize, give me a paying number. I don't care what number it is, as long as it pays me. That's what I visualize.
A full-length extended version of this podcast is available exclusively on our Patreon page. New episodes drop weekly every Tuesday. We hope you enjoyed this podcast and will tell all of your fellow craps-playing friends about it. Please follow Casino Tears on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. If you like the show, please rate it 5 stars and leave a review. The best and most fun way to contact us would be to call and leave a message on our official Casino Tears vent line, 229-NO7. You can also email us at no7@casinotears.com. New episodes drop weekly every Tuesday. And lastly, to help support this podcast, you can visit our Patreon at patreon.com/casinotears. On behalf of Roll to Win Craps from Alabama and 10 Ton is #1 from Las Vegas, thanks for listening.